I came to Islam at the age of 10. It was October 15th, 2004 that I took my Shahada, and that was it. I learned about Islam through people. Why did I become a Muslim? All I remember is having nothing up to that point. I really didn't have a religion at all. I grew up without one. I grew up without pretty much anything, and it felt like I was asleep for the first 10 years of my life. With Islam, I don't know, I started questioning. I started thinking about things, that people at that age really usually don't think about. They're more concerned with MTV and Lady Gaga or, whatever. They're concerned about pop culture and their peers. But for me, it's like my eyes started opening and I started to wake up. And I started to see Islam and I got to see that people can be good. Up to that point in my life, I had only known family and friends and people to be something bad who didn't care about me, who didn't care about anything, who didn't care about the world. They didn't care about having virtues. They didn't think modesty was important. They didn't think that being a good person was okay. I grew up in a place where if people could do wrong, they would do wrong. Islam taught me, I'm sorry, I'm just getting a little emotional. Islam taught me that people could be good. And, sorry. Islam showed me that I could be good too. And that holding out for good things in your life and saying no to these bad choices or these bad opportunities is worth it. That it's important to do that. And so that's why I love to be a Muslim. And that's why I chose Islam.
It was Christmas Eve, a couple months before I became Muslim. And it was Christmas Eve and I was in my studio downtown all by myself because I was not talking to my family, so I was alone for the holidays. So I was just sitting there and it was late at night and it was snowing and I was just kind of thinking to myself like, alright, I have two ways I can do this. I can figure out something, I gotta do something, or I'm probably not going to be here very much longer. Whether if it wasn't the drugs that took me, I was ready to die. I was not. I had nothing left inside me. I was not Brooke anymore. I don't know who I was. And so I called my friend, my Muslim friend, and I told him, I was like, I'm having a lot of problems right now, lots of problems. And I asked him to get me a copy of the Quran. That night, I drove out to, it was a Borders, I think. Yeah, it was a Borders bookstore. And he met me there at the parking lot and handed me a Quran that he had bought for me. And so I took it home and I started reading it that night. He told me what to do. I put on my shower robe with my hood on it because I didn't have any scarves. I didn't know what I was doing. Made wudu, wrapped myself up and started reading it. And wallahi, I read it for 4 days straight. I took breaks to sleep, and I'm not the kind of person that likes to read. Before this, I hated reading. You could not get me to open a book for anything. And I read for 4 days. I called in sick to work. I didn't even go to work. I started reading it. I could not stop reading it. It was like feeding me, that's when I knew that I wanted to become Muslim, because I finally felt like there was hope. And just what I like most about Islam is that there's accountability. You are completely responsible for everything that you do. So once I finished reading the Quran, I got as many books as I could about Islam. I just could not, I wanted to know everything, and I read and I read, and I knew after I finished the Quran that I wanted to become Muslim, but I knew it wasn't going to be easy. The lifestyle that I had then was haram, everything. It was terrible. It's really difficult to describe, but once I read the Quran and I started, trying to make strides to, prepare myself to actually become Muslim and change my life, like, I had this feeling like nothing could touch me. I just felt like incredible, like I had so much power within myself, like I knew I could get through this. I knew that I was gonna, get myself out of this, like, this hole that I had dug myself so far in, I had to get myself healthy again, physically. I had to, I quit drinking, I quit doing drugs, stopped, going out. Like, I just kind of became a hermit. I had to nurture myself. I had to get myself back to where I needed to be. I had to mend my relationships, with my family first. I had so many things I had to fix, but I knew that I was going to do it, and I did it. I think that God kind of helps me to not go there. Like, I don't think about it unless somebody asks me about it. But I've had some people, send me messages and they want me to, they ask me how I became Muslim. So I feel like if this helps anybody, like one girl in the same position that I was in, if it helps anybody to come to Islam, or, to answer a question about it, or to, help anyone in any way, then I would absolutely do it, because Islam saved my life, without a doubt. I honestly don't think that I would be here if I hadn't read the Quran and become Muslim.